No, I'll do it.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Between
Too long! Here we go.
Oh, my goodness. You didn't even tell them what the podcast was.
No, it's Between the Cushions. They get it.
Yeah, okay. Cool. As always, I'm Ryan Greiner.
This is Luke Sauder. This is our secondary podcast, and we're going to be doing it whenever we feel like it. Specifically, we're going to be doing some game reactions the week before, some game previews for the week coming. So we got a couple games to get to, and and probably pick up on some stuff that we might not have mentioned in the normal podcast, which happened yesterday. But this one's going to be coming out before, so it's a little bit of a weird thing.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but we'll make it work.
And for the listener's reference, we are actually sitting on a couch right now. Yep.
There's a couch.
Confirmation that this is a couch. So they have no idea what we're wearing or any of that important stuff.
Okay. We're both fully clothed, sitting on opposite sides of the couch. Just for reference. Okay.
Alright.
What do you want to talk about first?
Well, we got some game reactions. We've got a interesting Sunday, packed full of injuries.
What's the first game you want to talk about?
I think first off, we'll be hitting close to home. We're going to go Giants and Bears.
Dude, Bears' second victory.
Yeah, so the Bears barely escaped
the
Giants comeback.
They started 2-0, so...
They led 17-0 going into the second half and didn't score a single point in the second half.
Because they didn't need to.
No, Giants scored 13, came down to the last drive. Daniel Jones was, in that second half, Daniel Jones was really picking on the Bears secondary. They were getting all kinds of crossing routes in. So, maybe a little bit of evaluation to go there. But, what are your takeaways from that game? Obviously, this one was the one where Saquon Barkley tore his ACL in the first quarter, I believe it was. Big loss for the Giants.
Yeah, maybe one of the reasons they lost, too.
I mean, they did better without him. Not insinuating anything, but that kind of happened.
Saquon averaged about 4 yards a carry before he went down, so... Yeah.
Their offensive line's not that good, though. So, I mean, look at the Pittsburgh game. And that's one reason why, the whole replacement thing with Devontae Freeman, everyone's going after him, but... It's a bad offensive line. It gave Saquon some trouble, so we'll see how he deals with it.
Yeah, Lewis got some carries, didn't perform against the Bears, but Bears are a good defense, so...
Yeah, Pittsburgh and the Bears both are solid defenses, so it might not be anything to worry about, but I don't like the Giants' offensive line. I mean, I don't know, I'm just not gung-ho on them.
Just because they don't protect Danny Dimes enough?
I mean, they don't do that either. So, also, on the other side of the ball, David Montgomery, or actually the other team, David Montgomery also had a scary injury.
Was it, though? He came back, so...
He did come back, but failed hurdle attempt and landed right on his head. He was evaluated for neck injury.
Yeah,
he came back about a quarter later, but
you want to see your players give it their all, but when they jump right on their head,
scary as a Bears fan, I'll say. Speaking of offensive lines, Bears' offensive line was not. They didn't make that many improvements in the offseason, but David Montgomery is still managing to thrive.
Yeah, he got 16 carries, 86 yards, maybe.
82. But that's against the Giants, he was averaging 5.1 yards a carry. Against the Lions, 4.9. And he had 3 receptions against the Giants. One was that nice 20-30-yard touchdown. That was nice to see. I think Montgomery fantasy owners should be... I think they're in a solid place. I don't think... Receiving-wise, in a PPR league, it's a little bit of a sway. I don't think he catches that much, but he did catch a touchdown this last week. I'll turn over to the David Montgomery owner in a PPR league.
Dude, I almost
See what you got for him?
I almost traded David Montgomery. I was looking to get another receiver, and I had James Robinson for the Jags and David Montgomery for the Bears, of course. And he's doing as good as a player would where David Montgomery was drafted, if that makes sense. People shouldn't be mad at what he's doing. They shouldn't, because he got drafted in what, the 4th, 5th round?
Third round.
Third? He got drafted in the 3rd round?
He fell to the Bears. He was the 2nd ranked running back in that draft.
Yeah.
And he fell
Oh, I was talking fantasy for a sec there.
Oh, you were talking fantasy. Okay, that's a little bit different.
But yeah, so people should be pleased with his performance. He's got nice yards per carry. They're working him into the offense
on the season right now, it averages out to 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, and did he have 100 yards his first game?
No, 64 against the Lions, 82 against the Giants.
Okay.
So still not a 100-yard rusher, but numbers are really nice considering the offensive line didn't get that many improvements. He's just fighting for it. So
that's a little unsettling, but
yeah. He's also not getting that many carries. 16 and 13 in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
They got Tariq Cohen. They've got Cordell Patterson getting some snaps in the backfield, which is fun to see. Cordell Patterson, good gadget player. But it's he's not getting that many carries. 16, 13.
Well, the yards per carry is pretty eye-opening. I'm looking at one thing right now. Offensive lines before the season started, and last season the Bears were 29th in yards per carry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
it's just they don't spend money on their offensive line. Like every year, it's like, okay, go out and get someone like Brian Bulaga this last year. I was like, go out and get him, get a good tackle, and then they just don't do it. So I don't know why they don't go for offensive linemen that much.
Everything else other than yards per carry that I'm seeing is middle of the road. They're decent. So if you're decent, it's okay. Like, maybe we can push the guys to do better this year instead of, hey, we're terrible, let's replace some people.
I mean, Trubisky's pretty consistently under fire. But Trubisky, little overview on him. He did end up throwing 2 picks against the Giants.
Old Mitchell.
One was a deflection. Probably shouldn't have gone for that. The second one, though, I don't really fault him for. He tried to throw a back shoulder to Allen Robinson, and the corner really just made a tremendous play on it, and he was able to come down with it. It was. I mean, I don't really fault Trubisky for that. That's the type of ball that Allen Robinson typically comes down with. So.
Yeah, but it's still 2 interceptions to.
It's 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not as good as the Lions game. Another player that had some digression, Anthony Miller, had a really good week 1 and had a really rough week 2. He dropped a touchdown. A very well thrown ball by Trubisky in the end zone, and Miller really should have come down with it. So tough for Anthony Miller. I'll say their rookie 5th round pick Darnell Mooney. He's getting a lot of opportunity in that offense, which you don't typically see with the Bears. Like Javon Wims 2 years ago didn't get. He was a big preseason standout. Had a really great preseason and. You didn't see him that much in the regular season. He's just now starting to get in the mix.
Yeah, Mooney got more targets than Wynn.
Yeah, Mooney. I'll say one thing. He is lightning fast. His 40 time, I think, was in the 4.3s. So he is a quick receiver.
That's aggressive.
But yeah, in the first 2 weeks, his season totals are 6 receptions, 74 yards, and a touchdown. So he's doing well. Tariq Cohen signed a contract extension this week.
Oh, good for him.
In the midst of all this Allen Robinson
go grab that money.
Debacle.
What's that about Robinson?
What?
Doesn't he have some sort of like contract issues?
Robinson wants an extension, and the Bears. It's been reported that the Bears have not offered him anything close to his market value. Robinson's market value, according to SpotRack, is assessed at $16.7 million a year.
What did they give him last time? 12, 14?
They don't tell you what they've offered him.
No, when he came to the Bears from the Jags, do we know what he got?
As of right now, his average salary looks like...
I thought it was like 12 or 14 a year he signed for.
It looks like it's $14 million.
So...
Well, hang on. Maybe this number's old. No, $16.7 million. That's September 16th, 2020 when that was reported. Okay. So really, it's $2 million a year more, 2.7, for probably what, a top 10 receiver?
He gets drafted high in fantasy, so
yeah,
it
comes down to quarterback play. If it weren't Mitchell Trubisky, if you were giving Robinson to maybe if Robinson were playing for the Bucks or someone.
I noticed how you didn't say the Packers there.
I mean, I could have said the Packers. I'm saying if there were a good quarterback play in Chicago, his stats would be huge. So
yeah, and the 16 mil a year wouldn't be. Maybe he's 1 in 20 mil. Who knows? Yeah. That's just his projected. So
Bears need to pay him. Tariq Cohen, the contract extension worth up to 3 years, worth up to $17 million. Average salary is $5.7 million. He said, I saw an article today that said
that's decent for a backup.
I mean, he's not just a backup though. He's their gadget guy. He lines up as a running back. He lines up as a receiver. He's all over the place. He returns punts. Swiss Army knife. But it's not. He probably could have asked for more. I read an article today that said they were asking him, why take a contract extension during all this Allen Robinson thing, this whole Allen Robinson situation. Tariq Cohen actually tweeted out last week, #ExtendAR, which is a hashtag that's going around. And then he signed a contract extension. But Tariq Cohen said that he could have taken more, but he said that he decided to take less so that they would have cap left to extend Allen Robinson. So, maybe kind of a team-friendly deal.
Hopefully that gets done then.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving back over the Giants, Daniel Jones really tore him up in the second half.
Dude, talk to me about Danny Dimes.
241 yards and a pick.
Okay,
but the second half he passed on them very badly.
No TDs, 1 interception. Could have done a little better.
Yeah,
but it's the Bears' defense.
It is the Bears' defense, but they were kind of crumbling a little bit back there. Eddie Jackson had a pick 6 called back in the second half. Tough to see, but yeah, that's Bears, Giants. Bears 17, Giants 13. It was a nail biter to the end.
It shouldn't have been, but it was.
Yeah, it definitely shouldn't have been. Nagy, he needs to learn, when you're in the third quarter, just because you have kind of a lead does not mean to take your foot off the gas in the third quarter. They get very conservative way too early.
Don't get us wrong. We're not upset that the Bears won. We're just upset that they didn't win by a little bit more.
Every game this year has been a nail biter so far. The Lions game came down to the last play. Same thing happened this week.
Well, it makes every game interesting, so.
Yeah, it makes every game horrific. All right. Chiefs, Chargers. Chiefs 23, Chargers 20. Final in overtime. This was a 3:00 game. Justin Herbert got the unexpected start.
Air Bear,
rookie quarterback. Did you hear about the Tyrod Taylor situation?
Something about his chest.
So it was a chest injury. Which you kind of hear like, oh yeah, chest injury. That's what it was. Kind of like they're making it up because they wanna bench him. No, it was it was actually a chest injury. And it actually did happen right before the game. It was reported today. I think it was Schefter sent out. It was a team doctor accidentally punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung while administering a.
How do you accidentally puncture?
He was administering it's like a pain injection.
Oh.
And he accidentally punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung, which that doctor probably lost his job. But right before the game that happened, so Justin Herbert he probably didn't get any first team reps. He did not know he was starting until he was. But he walked away from it, and I mean, he went toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes and the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
20-23.
He has a better QB rating on the day than Mahomes did, so.
Yeah, so completion percentage in his debut, 66.7, 311 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and he ran for a touchdown. QBR 94.4.
He did get sacked twice, so.
He did get sacked twice.
He wasn't completely protected the whole game.
It was a good debut, though. I think I like him better than Joe Burrow, as of now. Burrow threw 3 TDs off of 61 attempts against a very banged-up Brown secondary.
Yeah, but 3 TDs.
3 TDs on 61 attempts.
3 TDs is more than 1.
61 attempts. He even said in his postgame, he was like, you can't win the game when your offense is throwing 61 times. They didn't establish a running game of any kind.
Yeah, Herbert just got lucky.
Yeah. I like Justin Herbert. I wrote an article for my blog way back before free agency started on the Chargers QB situation.
Recently? Are we plugging the blog again?
We'll plug it whenever I feel like plugging it.
Okay.
Now, but I was talking about I did a free agent signing that they could do, which was Tom Brady, and then I did a draft pick, which was Justin Herbert. And I didn't know that much about Justin Herbert before that, but as I was writing about it and looking into it.
You mean looking at him? Those long flowing locks?
I mean, he has tremendous hair.
Okay, continue.
Reminder, we are currently clothed.
I don't know why you need to remind people that.
Oh, we're going to remind them every 10 minutes.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, I wrote this article, and the more I looked at it, I was like, his stats are much more consistent than Burrow's through college. Burrow, he had, so-so stats until that senior year with that great LSU team, and then his stats went off, and that's why he was the first overall pick. Herbert was consistent throughout his entire career. So, consistency to me, that's more important than, the flashy season. I would rather see someone with really consistent stats throughout with, a little bit of improvement coming through. It's obviously better than seeing someone's stats get worse as they progress in their career.
Yeah, but if you don't, flash, as you're saying, or however you want to say it, you're not showing people what your ceiling could be, how good you could potentially be.
Well, yeah, but that's why seeing improvement's important.
You look at Burrow and you're like, oh, look at all these things that he did.
Great, he threw 15 touchdowns the year before, and then on the best offense in college football, he threw 60. Wow.
Yes, but people saw, hey, this guy can perform. So maybe, he could perform if, nurtured at the pro level.
Maybe. I think flashiness is overrated by scouts. But Herbert did well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I do think Justin Herbert did well for his first game.
I mean, a game that he didn't even know he was starting.
Yeah, Air Bear had several mistakes, but for his debut in the NFL, I think he did fine. They were even leading.
They were leading.
They were leading the game.
That's just the way it goes. It's the defending Super Bowl champions. You also have to look at the fact... that Burrow threw 3 touchdowns against a very banged-up Browns defense. Herbert went up against the Chiefs. They just won the Super Bowl.
They're not on their defense, though.
Yeah, their defense is solid.
Didn't they go down like 25
they
points?
They got Honey Badger back there.
Okay.
It's a good... The Chiefs are a much better team than the Browns. And then the game ended in dramatic fashion in overtime. Harrison Butker went up to kick a 58-yard field goal, and then they iced him. He made it, but they iced him, and they called a timeout right after he kicked, or right before he kicked it, actually.
Right after he kicked it?
But he made it. They were like, timeout! Oh, dang it, he already kicked it.
Yeah. Well, we'll call it after.
No, but he kicked back-to-back 58-yarders, and he made both of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Actually, there might have been one before that.
What a man.
Yeah, I tuned in right for that last one, so I didn't see the first one. Okay.
No. We got to comment one more thing.
What's that?
The Chiefs' running game against the Chargers defense.
Not great?
No, it was just awful. It was pretty bad. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, their star number 1 pick, 10 rush attempts, 38 yards, 3.8. However, he had one long run of 17 yards. So you take that away, he was 9 for 21, which just over 2 yards a carry. He didn't score on the ground.
Is that because of him, or is that because of the offensive line, or do the Chargers just have a very underrated defense?
Mahomes seemed to have been throwing the ball. I will say they were down, so they might have just been airing it out. But still, he got a number of attempts and they went nowhere. So hey, I just something to look at with their first round pick.
Are you thinking that the hype train for Edwards is starting to be a little bit of a...
All I know is
he
was drafted in fantasy in the first round, like number 6 overall, number 7. Usually is where he went. He went a little bit later in our league, but I did not feel comfortable with him before the fantasy football draft, and I don't feel comfortable with him now.
It's a fair point.
But we'll see. Who drafted him in our league? Nolan?
I have no idea.
It was
some risk taker.
Yeah, I think it was Nolan. Freaking. Well, I'll see if I can find it, but we'll see. We can move on.
All right. Real quick before we get to this last game reaction, I want to circle back to Devontae Freeman. This is specific to the Couch Fantasy Football League.
Devontae or Devonta?
I believe it's Devonta, but Devontae sounds better.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Linus Putandes. I hope that pronunciation is correct. He was the one who walked away with Devonta in our waivers. How much did he put down for him, Ryan?
Pretty penny.
I believe it was $36. It was a $36 bid.
But he got Devonta Freeman.
He did, but there's so many question marks over that pick because, it's got to be like, is he going to come back? Is he going to be vintage Devontae, or is he going to be, the 2019 season where he was averaging 3.6 yards a carry? Also, is he going to be it's only a $3 million contract, so it's like, is he going to be sharing the ball with Lewis most of the season? Is he going to be the clear-cut number 1?
I mean, Fournette was given a $2 million contract, and he got the lion's share last week.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not a guarantee.
So,
for Fournette, that's not a guarantee the rest of the season.
Of everyone on our waiver wire,
I think Freeman was the best, and that's why I put a $26 bid on him.
It depends on your outlook. Freeman was the best rest of the season. Mike Davis was the best initial pickup.
Yeah, well, for me,
McCaffrey's coming back, so
yeah. For me, as a McCaffrey owner, Mike Davis was the most logical pickup. But I wanted Freeman too. I ended up getting Mike Davis for 11, but I put 26 down for Freeman.
Which boggles my mind. I would have put 12 on him if I knew.
There's a lot of people.
I don't get it. Were you even gonna pick him up?
Okay, Ryan may have convinced me to put some kind of bid
down.
That's what I thought. I was amazed to get him for 11.
We just needed to make sure everyone else knew it. I mean, we both.
Well, I thought for sure people were going to look at him and see, oh, he's number 1 on the waiver wire. I must pick him up. Like, my coworker's in a league, and he said someone put 32 down on Mike Davis. Yeah, that's a bit of a reach.
Which
for a 4-week running back.
He doesn't. Does he have Mike Davis?
Who?
Your coworker? Or
no,
does he have Christian McCaffrey?
He doesn't have Christian McCaffrey. I don't think it was the McCaffrey owner, though, who put that bid down.
See, I could see if you are the McCaffrey owner and you need to, you need the replacement and you need to grab the backup, I could see you dropping a third of your budget.
Yeah. Speaking of McCaffrey, he was placed on short-term IR today, which, as a McCaffrey owner, I'm actually okay with because that means the minimum he'll be gone from a minimum of 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I don't have to do that moving around at the IR slot. He can just stay in the IR for the next 3 weeks. And I've got Mike Davis, so however long McCaffrey's gone for, I have Mike Davis. So I'm okay with that situation. But Freeman, it's just... There's too many questions to ask about that before putting... before I would want to put such a significant bid on. I don't fault Linnaeus for doing this. He's got...
That's Scott, by the way.
Is it Scott? He's got solid running backs.
Yeah, I'm pull up what backs he has. I think Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, and Chris Carson.
Yeah, he saw a player on the waivers he wanted, so he went after him. I can't fault him for that.
I can. What's he gonna do with them?
Flex option for the whole year, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, but that's why there's question marks over it. Maybe he got him just so he can hold on to him and hold him over Grassy's head so that he can offer a trade.
Grassy's not trading.
He stole Devontae Freeman. Now he wants trade request. Okay.
Which, put a plug in for you, Scott. Maybe offer him a wide receiver. Might take it.
Yeah, where's receivers? Not great.
I think he has AJ Green and
he's the one that took
Hollywood Brown. So
he's the one who took 4 running backs in the first 4 rounds, right?
First 5.
First 5.
Because he drafted Kelsey, and he's like, nah. In a PPR league, we don't need wide receivers, so
It's an interesting take.
Yeah,
Interesting strategy. We'll see if it pays off.
Tried to convince him at the draft, but Scott will be Scott. So.
Yeah, now he has another running back. He's got Freeman.
I don't think he's ever won the league either. So.
Freeman's he is a good. I think he'll be a good flex option all year. I don't know about running back number 1 or 2. Totally depends on if he's splitting carries or not. Okay.
Cool. We're gonna jump back on.
Yes, we're gonna jump on to our next game preview, which
preview or review?
Review. Previews are coming up later.
What happened?
Okay, so the Patriots and Seahawks faced off on Sunday Night Football last week.
It was a terrible game.
We watched the entirety of it.
Terrible game. The only reason I lost to Cody was one badly defended pass.
Sorry, let it out.
I thought everything was going to be all right. We're going to be good, and then freaking Russell Wilson airs it out. DK Metcalf for a 40-yard TD or whatever it was. I was just upset after that.
He was playing, he had the Patriots defense, and he was playing against DK Metcalf. So...
Yeah, it was a bad game. I didn't
Metcalf's
like it.
TD was
Why do you want to talk about this game?
Like a 15-point swing?
Why do you want to talk about this game?
I mean, why not? Humiliation on your part. It was a solid game all around. Seahawks came out victorious in this one, 35-30. Cam Newton looking solid under Belichick.
Threw the ball 30 times.
Yeah, I mean, Newton in 2 weeks, he has rushed for 4 touchdowns. He has rushed for over 100 yards. Against the Seahawks specifically, 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception, 397 yards, 2 touchdown runs. Really, what's nice to see about this is Belichick and McDaniels and their flexibility in the offense. Like they're calling quarterback run plays, read option plays. They're really playing to Newton's strengths, which is nice to see.
Yeah. However, who's the leading rusher on the team right now?
Cam Newton.
They don't have another running back. Are they trying to do like a Ravens sort of thing?
Maybe they might be running with him a tad too much. But it's nice to see Belichick being flexible because for the last 20 years, they've been calling it with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady is obviously a very different play style than what Newton has. Next year, I believe the Buccaneers and Patriots are facing up. By the way, that game's going to be amazing.
I will say that Newton, 400 yards passing this past game. I mean, so he did run a little bit, but they were airing it out most of the game because they were down.
Yeah,
a lot of the game.
And then obviously they drove down the field in the last couple seconds, got down to I think it was 3 seconds, the 1 yard line. Something about these two teams in the 1 yard line. And obviously they called the quarterback draw to the left. Cam Newton tried to rush it in and got stopped. Thoughts on that play call? Was it a good call? Was it something they should have changed up?
Well, off the top of my head, we can no longer call him Superman anymore. He didn't fly into the end zone, so
that's just how it works. If you don't fly into the end zone, you're not Superman. So
yeah,
sorry,
on that play, I probably would have called the same thing. Didn't they call for one of the TDs? Didn't they fake a quarterback draw?
They might have
air it out. So I don't know. Yeah, I probably would have made the same call.
I would say the quarterback design plays, like the quarterback draws, they might want to ease off of. Read option might be more their bread and butter. Because when they got down the 1 yard line, everyone knew they were calling a quarterback draw. And that's why it was so easy to stop. Everyone knew that was the play call.
Well, I think that he shouldn't have gone up the middle. He should have went to the outside.
No, yeah, he should have bounced the outside.
Well, hindsight's 20/20, but Newton, you get him in space he's a big guy.
6'5".
You get him and one, maybe another person that's right in front of him to the goal line. I mean, he might crash in and fall for the TD.
Well, they could have lined up. He could have lined up under center, and he might have just been able to go over the up and over.
Just reach over.
I mean, he might have been able to. He's done it throughout his career.
I think Cousins did that last year. He just reached over and reached back or something.
Yeah. Speaking of the Vikings, man, what's going on there?
They didn't do anything.
Before the season started, they were my pick for winning the NFC North. I say that as a humble Bears fan.
It doesn't look like
they're falling apart.
Doesn't look like they're gonna win that.
Diggs is holding the whole team together. It turns out.
Not the case, but
yeah.
Back to Seattle and New England.
How you feel about DK Metcalf?
Metcalf, I liked him better than Edelman before the season started. Now it's a lot closer than I thought it was. Lockett's been getting a lot more targets, and he's been getting some TDs as well.
Who's your fantasy guy between DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? It's a tough call.
I would say Lockett in our league because it's PPR and he's been getting more targets. So
that's the thing. I think Lockett is the more consistent one, but I think DK is the most explosive. So I think DK gets you the bigger plays.
I'd say Lockett.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Typically, I like to go consistency over big play, but it's a tough call.
Ask me again next week when Metcalf doesn't score, a 40-yard bomb on my team, and we'll give you a different evaluation, maybe.
Little salt in the wound there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think James White would have helped New England?
James White, he's on my team. He's in and out of my flex. I think it probably would help their run game, and him lining up in the slot. Obviously, I don't know if he'll be back this week either. Tough situation going on in his personal life. He might have helped though, I would say, because how many carries did Michelle get that game?
Michelle?
Yeah.
Like 7.
I saw their fullback caught a TD. Aha, fullbacks.
Fullbacks aren't relevant.
Speaking of fullbacks.
No. Moving on to something else other than fullbacks.
Best position in football.
We'll say Wilson, 75% completion.
Dude, Wilson is a freaking stud.
So he completed 21 passes, 28 attempts. On the other side of the ball, Newton, 30 completions, but 44. It's
5 touchdown passes for
well,
Russell Wilson.
he doesn't pass the ball that much, but he makes it count when he does.
5 touchdown passes for Wilson.
They
Man,
seem to take a lot of shots.
Seahawks a playoff front runner for the NFC.
Definitely.
They're killing it.
Freaking MVP quarterback.
I mean, their defense is a little rickety. But,
well, when we start with the Chiefs, it doesn't matter if you have a QB that can score you points. Or I guess
if Caleb were here, he'd be advocating with you. But yeah, Russell Wilson. I mean, maybe it's time to segue into this. Ryan, who's your early frontrunner for MVP?
Maybe I should ask you, or we could
you
both
want to say it on this count of 3? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Jay Cutler. Oh. We're not doing... Oh.
Okay.
Obviously, we're both talking about Russell Wilson.
Hang on, I like Newton. No. It is Russell Wilson. For me. Should be for you, too. Just saying.
He has done phenomenal.
We're talking 9 touchdowns in 2 weeks, 610 yards, 2-0 starting as a record, and 82.5 completion percentage. Is anyone else even close? 82.5.
Yes, Lamar Jackson, 77. Phillip Rivers, 77.
Russell Wilson is in the 80s.
Minshew, 75.
Russell Wilson is in the 80s. Minshew's doing a lot better than I thought he would, too.
Gardner Minshew.
I mean, I thought the Jags were just going to die this season, but they're holding on. They're playing Thursday night, which this will probably be coming out after that. So don't make any claims because you might get shut down.
Okay. I'll be conservative with my estimations then.
Russell Wilson right now MVP frontrunner. I am surprised to hear that he never has gotten an MVP vote. That's crazy. Well, last year was between him, Lamar, and I think Patrick Mahomes maybe? I don't remember who the final 3 were, but
I think it's Mahomes.
He was on there. Was it just unanimous Lamar Jackson?
Well, it was funny because who are the 2 guys?
Chris Collinsworth was the one who said
he
forgot to send, or no, he was late sending in his ballot and he voted Russell Wilson. Oh boy,
he would have given Wilson his only vote. But yeah, Wilson seems like the front runner. Josh Allen's been lighting things up though.
Yeah, I do love Josh Allen. I wouldn't say MVP front runner. But
most total yards right now.
He's doing great for fantasy. Most
6 TDs, no interceptions.
You gotta look at the teams he's playing though. So far, not that much competition.
Yeah,
it's good.
But he's lighting it up right now.
Russell Wilson's killing it. Did you know?
We'll check back in mid-season on Josh Allen.
I believe that the Seahawks offered Devontae Freeman
get hyped.
I believe the Seahawks offered Devontae Freeman. I think before the year started. They tried to sign him, and I think Freeman was the one who said no.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why does it make sense? Because he doesn't want to share the ball? Now he's going to the Giants, who have a really bad offense, bad offensive line.
Well, I think his agent said that Freeman Devonta didn't want to go anywhere where he wasn't going to get wasn't going to have
carries.
Well, guaranteed carries. So
okay,
which
I think the
Hyde's got some at the Seahawks. They just signed Hyde, so
yeah. They also offered. I think the Eagles also. He worked out for them as well. Didn't go with them. He went with the Giants, which is it's a weird choice.
Worked out with the Jags too. I thought he'd land with the Jags.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised he didn't land with the Jags. Was this after the Fournette thing, or did he work out with them at all?
This was literally just like last week.
And there were talks about
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
That's odd that the Jags didn't go for him then.
2 weeks ago. I'll check. I mean, because me looking at all this, I picked up Devonta Freeman more than a week ago. So.
Yeah, I still think he jumped the gun on that.
No, you see it.
That's so early to go for him.
You see a player that has offers from teams and he's not taking them.
Yeah, okay.
And you know he's gonna get signed sometime. Yeah, hang on, I'll get you the... No, it doesn't say how far back, but yeah. He worked out for the Jags a little bit ago.
But we'll see how he shows up because his last season with the Falcons last year was not good stat wise. He played in 14 games. Didn't get in the end zone very much. Averaging a little over 3 yards a carry.
Yeah. Are we done with MVPs?
Yes.
Just Wilson and maybe Josh Allen. Any other positions?
No other positions. We live in a world where quarterbacks and running backs win MVP, and in the last 5 years, it's been all quarterbacks. Wide receivers have never won the MVP, and I know why. Because Randy Moss caught 23 touchdowns in 2007, best season a receiver's ever had. You know why he didn't win MVP? Because that means that Tom Brady threw 50 touchdowns. So behind every great receiver is a quarterback that's throwing to him, and the quarterback's going to get more credit, and they're going to get the MVP.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so let's move into the Week 3 preview segment of this. Got the Saints and the Packers on Sunday Night Football.
Oh. Hopefully Breeze actually throws it.
More salt in the wound right there?
You know, Breeze lost it for me in my other league, and Emmanuel Sanders, so I'm looking to see,
Boycott the Saints.
at least the receivers. You don't know who's getting the ball with Thomas out, so.
Yeah. Real quick, have you noticed that all of the Thursday night games, I think, are on NFL Network this year?
I have not.
They're not on NBC. What's just contract pulled or COVID or...
No, I have YouTube TV, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I've got streaming stuff too, but it's a little odd. It's a little annoying that it's not on NBC. NBC's still a Sunday night though. We got Packers, we got Saints. Packers, obviously 2-0, second year for Matt LaFleur as their coach. Saints are 1-1. They got beat by the Raiders in Las Vegas on Monday night. That was a shocker to say the least.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
And I think it was Derek Carr getting it done. I don't think Jacobs had a great week.
Jacobs, he had some good carries though, from what I saw. He was getting some work. That game, Darren Waller lost me my fantasy league.
D. Waller, what up, my dude?
Oh my gosh, 24 points in PPR. Just annihilated my team. I had a 30-point lead, ended up losing by 1.7 points.
It was so satisfying hearing Luke sob from his room.
Yep. All right, so Packers Saints, what do you got for us? What specifics? Breeze, Rodgers, good matchup.
Dude, I got no specifics. I just want Breeze to do better.
Just looking forward to the game. Thomas might come back this week. He might come back early. He was not put on IR, and if you go to fantasy football, there is a projection. He's listed as questionable.
He's not coming back.
Huh? Thomas might be a fighter. He might come back.
But yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. So Adams is also slightly injured too. So.
Yeah, they said that might be a little more serious than they originally thought also.
Starting receivers, or the best receivers for the Packers and Saints might both be out, so look for the ball to be spread around a lot.
It's a good week to pick up MVS, you think?
Well, I already have him in the other league.
In Couch League, he is on waivers.
Oh, he's on waivers? Yeah, definitely grab him. If
you're
looking for a receiver or someone to service.
I saw he was there today, and I thought about taking it, but then I was like, it would be a very short-term thing at the most. Devontae Adams is probably going to play, I assume.
Who's number 2 on that team, though?
It's either Lazard or MVS.
It's looking like it's MVS right now.
Chenault Jr. for the Jaguars. I ended up picking him up today. He looks solid. 13 in PPR league. 13 points week 1, 10 points last week. He cleared waivers, so didn't have to put a bid or anything down on him. Yeah. I had an open bench slot, so I went for it.
You bidding on anyone right now on waivers?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, I haven't put in any bids. Okay. You got Will Fuller right now?
Yep. Will Fuller is going to join the old team here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? What's your bid on him? I'll beat him right now.
Bid $2 on him. So.
I'm going to make sure that I upload this, tonight.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, that's true. All right, but that is Saints and Packers. So
Wait, we still talking about Saints Packers?
I mean, we branched off and started talking about receivers.
Because are we going to talk about Aaron Jones? Is he going to light it up against the Saints?
That's one thing to talk about. Aaron Jones. I don't want to say he got lucky, because he didn't, but he had a
leading receiver on the Packers.
No, that's the thing. He had a great game, statistically unlikely to happen again.
You want to go on record saying that, or we're not quoting you?
I mean, you could quote me on it because we're talking 4 total touchdowns.
Luke Sauder, 2020. Aaron Jones can't do it again.
If Aaron Jones gets 4 total touchdowns in one game this week, I will let Ryan smack me in the face on camera.
4 total so not necessarily rushing touchdowns, just 4 TDs.
All right, you can hold me to that.
I definitely will. Let's go, Jones. I will be cheering for the Packers running game.
4 total touchdowns.
But yeah,
and also 168 rushing yards off of 18 attempts, 9.3 yards per carry.
I think he can continue that.
I doubt it. Maybe the next time they play the Lions, because the Lions are trash.
Yeah, but
Packers are probably going to win the NFC North again this year. Right now, the top 2 are Bears and Packers. And the Bears struggled to beat the Lions, and the Packers breezed right through them. So, sucks as a Bears fan.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate.
All right.
But just one more thing for the Saints-Packers. It looks like Packers have been running the ball more than the Saints. So, also, Latavius Murray has got he's got 18 carries. Kamara has got 25. So it looks like they're spelling Kamara on the carries a little bit more than Jones with Williams. So,
all right, looking back at the draft, at the fantasy draft, if you had the first overall pick, or just who do you think, if we were at this 2-week point and the draft were happening right now, who do you think would go first overall?
Probably Kamara.
Kamara?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would say Kamara. Kamara and Elliott are really killing it.
Kamara, probably Kamara, Jones, Elliott, if we redrafted right now.
I'm not that high up on Jones because Aaron Wright. It's not like Kamara. Okay, Breeze is good. He wasn't that great on Monday, but Kamara he's a much bigger deal in their offense. I would say Kamara is a bigger deal in the offense than Breeze is for the Saints. Whereas the Packers, it's all about Rodgers. Jones is not. He's not their offense. That's not their identity.
Yeah, they're both on good offenses though, so that helps them.
It does help. They're not stacking the box. It's not a Fournette and Jacksonville situation.
Okay. Was that about it?
Yep, we got a Monday night matchup that is going to be a good one.
Give it to me.
We got the 2-0 Chiefs going up against the 2-0 Ravens. They are at the Ravens, which no in-person attendance, so it doesn't matter. This is going to be a good one, though. Mahomes versus Jackson. Action Jackson.
Somebody's got to win.
Somebody has to. Well, it could tie. It could tie.
Dude, can you imagine if these?
It's unlikely, but it could.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just saying.
People would be so unsatisfied if these two teams tied.
And the final score is 3-3. They tie. 3-3.
It's like the worst game ever.
They exchanged field goals in overtime, and then 3 for 3. 3-3. But what do you got for this game? Lamar, Mahomes, who do you think is going to win?
So I just, fun fact, Couch League, just traded for Lamar Jackson. So
side note, his team name was Staff Infection because he had Matt Stafford. He was very high up on Matt Stafford, but now he's not.
Look to me to change the name now that Stafford's out of there. So
he's going to name it Action Jackson.
Well, I mean, we got to consider all options now. I mean, he's not the only one with naming potential on the roster.
Yeah.
So,
well, who else you got?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, I'm worried about it.
Worry about it when I play you, not now.
All right, Lamar Jackson so far this year, we're talking, he's obviously 2-0, 77% completion percentage, 479 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Having a good season again. I don't think he's in the MVP talk right now. Not in the MVP conversation. On his way though.
Probably should be. Quarterback rating 134.6.
He's having another good season. Defense is still having a tough time stopping him.
Do we want to talk about RG3 here? 100% completion.
Yeah.
He's throwing one pass.
Who?
But he's got 100% completion.
That's the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
So they put him in relief because they blew out Houston. Is that what it was?
I don't know. It just says he has one completion.
They beat
9
Houston
yards.
33-16, and then before that they beat Cleveland 38-6. So I mean RG3 probably has seen some of the field because why would you keep Lamar in for that? But
Yeah.
I mean RG3 is one that I think Lamar gets compared to a lot. Some unfairly, some I would say kind of. Lamar is a lot like RG3 in the way that he doesn't protect himself when he's running. Doesn't slide as much as he probably should.
Tries to get the extra yardage.
You know, and that injury cost RG3 a whole lot. And you know, it's funny that they play on the same roster. But yeah, they get compared quite a bit. But
well, let's go through the teams. So like
you want to compare like run game and stuff like that?
Kind of.
Okay. So what do you got for passing game? Chiefs, Ravens, Mahomes, Jackson. Who do you think wins the passing game?
Well, if I had to put money on it, it'd be Mahomes. But the Ravens defense is phenomenal. So
once again, the Chiefs. I think you're sleeping a little bit on the Chiefs defense. They're a solid unit. They're not great, but they definitely know what they're doing.
We'll see. Mahomes has aired it out more than Jackson at this point. So, and pretty significant. I mean, 79 attempts to his 49 attempts. So, he's throwing a lot more. If I had a receiver in fantasy, I'd want one on the Chiefs. Just because they throw it more. But Jackson seems to be getting it done with, less throws. He has a better completion percentage, but we're 2 games in. I don't know.
All right.
I will say, overall, I'm picking the
Chiefs.
No, I'm picking the Ravens.
You're picking their passing game?
No, not the passing
Just
game.
total.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's break it down.
We'll get to that later. So Chiefs
passing game.
Yeah.
What do you got for running game?
Running game. We got Baltimore for the running game. We said earlier, Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't do well against the Chargers, and maybe that's just the Chargers, maybe that's Helaire. But behind him, they have Darrell Williams, and that's about it.
Okay.
Pat Mahomes runs a little bit too, but
yeah, I also like the Ravens. Ingram not doing as great as I would want him to. 2.9 yards per carry against the Browns. 6.1 against the Texans, though. So, that's only off of 9 attempts. He's only had 19 attempts on the year. Right now he's on the year 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Not as involved as I would like him to be, but he's not doing too bad. But in the running game, you got him, you got Lamar Jackson. Their running game is very solid.
Yeah, and peppering in Gus Edwards and then their rookie Dobbins as well.
Yeah,
so.
J.K. Dobbins, he's on Clayton's fantasy team.
2 TDs on the year right now.
Yeah. We've got Clyde Edwards. We talked about him a little bit before. You're a little down on him right now.
Yeah.
A lot of hype that was around him going into the year. And then that first game happened and people fell in love with him. But a little bit of digression happening. So
I don't
running game. I like them.
I'm not a fan. I don't know if I'm necessarily down on him. I just think he's overhyped right now.
Right.
He's a small running back. He's gonna get broken.
You ready for the next category?
Yeah. What's up?
All right, we got receiver / tight end. That whole core. Who you got for this? I mean, for me, it's the Chiefs. Talking Tyreek Hill. Talking Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, Hardman.
Yeah, but you got Hollywood Brown on the outside of the
Hollywood-
ball.
You got Hollywood Brown, and then you got Hayden Hurst, but, I mean, come on.
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
Drafted high.
But come on, the Chiefs, their receiving core, their tight ends, they've got arguably the best tight end in the league. Their receiving core is phenomenal.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. I don't think we have to spend that much time on this one. I think it's Chiefs all the way.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Kickers.
No, we're not doing kickers. We don't break down kickers.
We should do
But Curve 58-yard field goal. Shout out to you. You are the better of the kickers, but we're not putting that in.
Oh, what about punters?
I mean, Tucker's nice too.
Townsend.
Will you shut up? We're not putting
Or
punters
Cook.
in.
Townsend.
We're
for
not
the
putting
Chiefs,
punters in.
Or Cook for the rate. I mean,
It would be Cook though.
it's a toss up. No, dude, Townsend.
Dude, Cook.
My goodness.
Cook, like, he is the master of kicking balls that are incredibly hard to catch.
You don't even know.
Yes, I do. I watched it.
No.
NFL Films uploaded like a mini documentary on Sam Cook's punting. You should check it out. Okay, next category, defense. What do you got?
Ravens.
I agree as well.
Not much to talk about. It's just they're a solid defense.
Ravens have a very good defense. I think Ryan is sleeping a little bit on the Chiefs' defense, but they don't hold a candle to the Ravens. So, Tyrann Matthew, sorry. Ravens are they're better.
So,
Final category, I think. Ready? Coaching. John Harbaugh versus Andy Reid.
Can I say something about defenses?
Okay.
Quick. So apparently it lists, maybe it's just a Yahoo Sports thing, but it lists Lamar Jackson among the defense. So they put him in on defense, maybe.
It's probably because no, he hasn't thrown a pick. Well, maybe a player fumbled and then he tackled him or something.
I don't know.
What's the stat line? Does it say he got a tackle?
No, it doesn't say he got anything. It just lists him on the defense.
Hey, Lamar can do it all.
Okay.
Coaching, Andy Reid, John Harbaugh.
Oh, man. Two amazing coaches.
I gotta go with Andy Reid on this one.
Just for the face mask or for...
No, Andy... That face mask is hilarious. But Andy Reid he's one of the great minds of our time in terms of football IQ.
Wait, I thought that was Caleb Sauder.
Yeah, according to White Knobloch. Yeah, he's just great. He's just a student of the game, and he's made himself quite a unit in Kansas City. So he's got to be my pick for the coaching, unless you make a good argument in favor of John Harbaugh.
No.
Okay. And coaching goes to the Chiefs. Okay, so you said you have the Ravens winning this game.
Ravens are winning this game.
When you break it down into categories, though, you got passing game, that's the Chiefs. That's 1-0 in favor of the Chiefs. Running game, that's the Ravens. That's 1-1. Receiver/tight end, that's Chiefs. That's 2-1 in favor of the Chiefs. And then you go defense, that's Ravens. That's 2-2. And then the final category is coaching. You go Chiefs. That's 3-2 in the categories.
You're sleeping on Justin Frick Frack and Tucker.
I don't think I am. We're
kicker
not doing
for the
kickers.
Kicker for the Ravens.
It has to be an odd number so that we can actually gauge this.
We can go even and leave it, up to the fans.
No, yeah, 3-3.
Fine.
Dude, Butker nailed a 58-yarder. Twice.
JT's still JT.
Yeah, JT is. He is JT. All right. Look for that game on Monday night. Anything else to add?
Nah.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the first episode of Between the Cushions.
Toodles.